Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Diana QTV. And thank you for all of you that will be joining me in the near future. I just started the video live on Facebook over here. I decided to create this video just out of the blue because I was fascinated by an interview that I watched today that answered a lot of questions that I have had since I was 9 years old, when I was reading from my dad's library, actually, about the Bermuda Triangle and about many other things. So since then, the Bermuda Triangle has ever caught my attention. And since I was 9 years old, I've been looking at the libraries. Back in the day, the internet didn't exist. Now, thank goodness to the internet, I have the opportunity to research more and more and more. And many answers to my questions have already been answered through people that I follow, and archaeologists and historians and people who are in the field, and including the military and things like that. So sources that are coming from all different paths, so that I can gather information about the Bermuda Triangle. Since I was in high school and we had to make essays or how do you say, speeches in front of the classroom, I was always talking about the Bermuda Triangle. So if the speech was in Spanish, I would say in Spanish, or I would just translate it to English, but it was always the same recycled speech about the Bermuda Triangle and a little bit of sources that I have gathered here and there. I wonder if my classmates or my teachers thought that maybe I was a little bit, well, that was a little bit weird. Maybe they still do, actually, probably now in the present, that they think that now I am more weirder than I have always been. Thank you. Now, the fascinating information that I corroborated today by watching an interview about the subject of the Bermuda Triangle gave me more confirmation of the information that I have been gathering. And to me, finding these sorts of answers give me a lot of peace in my mind, because this is a subject that I have been searching for so long. And imagine, it's always like looking for the answers, you know, back in the past when I was reading books and articles and everything about planes disappearing in the Bermuda Triangle is a triangle. It's electromagnetic field that comes from Miami to Puerto Rico, and then a triangle. So in that area has always been, there has always been a lot of strange phenomena that has happened there. As I was mentioning in my previous video about undisclosed technology, disappearing airplanes, disappearing ships, and never finding the debris. So pretty much they disappear. Or whatever theory you can come up with, but it has always been a mystery. Now, the interview that I watched today was in Dr. Michael Sala's channel. that is called Exopolitics Today, and he was interviewing Dick Olgayer, who has been trained by the military as a remote viewer. And obviously he has a very professional team to back him up with all this information. So what is remote viewing? Remote viewing is gathering non-local information through different techniques, and it's actually a science. It's not, I mean, it's a science. It's a science that you can be trained on, and many of all of us, of all the people, all of us, many of us is what I meant to say, have the capacity to, with our imagination and with our intention, to take our consciousness to a different location, not necessarily leaving our body. Leaving our body will be teleportation, but remote viewing, not necessarily. Not, it doesn't mean taking this body to a different space or time. So remote viewing is gathering not local information. So Dick Olgayer, who was trained by the military, was tasked with a target. When people are going to remote view a target, they do it double-blinded. So first of all, they do not know the target. It is coded in numbers or letters, or a combination of numbers and letters. And also, in this particular case, you don't know who you are working for, or who the, pretty much, Dr. Olgayer didn't know who Dr. Sala was. That Dr. Sala was the one who was asking to remote view this particular subject, because in that case, whatever previous memory or knowledge that you know about the person, it will interfere with the truth, because you are polluting it with your programming or your experience or something like that. So that's why remote viewing, from my point of view, and from the CIA point of view, and many other letter agencies, and esoteric people and scientists, we know that it is actually a very valuable way to prove something or disprove something. Either way. But that's precisely why remote viewing gathers how do you say that, has a big team. I mean, a team of many people, so that then you can corroborate and make a map of the whole scene. It's not just one person making it up from their imagination. Is what I'm saying, is this is a science. So regarding the Bermuda Triangle, what I learned today is that under the Bermuda Triangle, and this has been corroborated by other sources that work for the military, but remote viewing, this group of remote viewing came to the corroboration that under the Bermuda Triangle there is a space arc, and a space arc is a spaceship. So it's a spaceship that ancient civilizations have left there for us to find in the future, for when our consciousness, for when the collective of the consciousness of us, the human beings, was ready to receive it, or when the end of time was coming, meaning a shift in consciousness. And the time has come right now. we already know in the financial system, in many other technology, infiltration systems, and many other things. We are near to the end for, let's say, the dark forces that have been controlling this human matrix and this world for so long are diminished and dismantled already. So I'm sharing this video with you so that we can hit the critical mass in understanding about the true origin of the human beings. So this space arc is in the Bermuda Triangle. The space arc, and this was done, this has been shared through the whistleblowers from the military, and as I'm sharing today with you through remote viewing. So this is the summary of what it is, what it appears to be the truth of what is happening right there. There is a space arc left there by ancient civilization, and then these groups that come to this space arc to access the technology and access the knowledge, and that has to do with the military of the United States, Russia, China, and the Mayan, the Aztecs from Mexico. I believe they are from Mexico. The Aztecs, the Aztecs, the Andeans, the shamans from South America were the other group that were there. So what happened when they got there? They want to access this arc, and this arc, this is under the Bermuda Triangle, under the water, but you have to understand there is technology that allows all this to happen. So long story short, the Aztecs are the only ones who are able to trespass this energetic field into the ark, because they have the consciousness, and they started seeing, and the military of the States and Russia and China was not able to go through this energetic field, because that's what the intelligent ark decided. I wonder why. All this technology, and is left for us, the human beings who have a high consciousness of awareness of who really are, meaning divine, long story short, and the connection to spirit and the connection to source. So for those who have that, are able to pass the arc. So these Aztec ones, the shamans, they are so beautiful people. Obviously, were able to come in, and then you can see where there are some soldiers that are allowed to come in. You can follow Dr. Michael Sala for more intel. But inside this arc, there are hieroglyphs, and they describe the true history of humankind and where we come from and everything like that, and how to use the technology that is left there. That technology that is going to allow us to heal and to have free energy, for example. Imagine how beautiful that's gonna be when there's not gonna be hungry people, there's not gonna be people who are sick, and we are already flying and using hovering hovering cars and crafts. And inside this ark there is a stargate that looks like a bubble of water, and it's bluish and purplish, and it's a stargate. These stargates or portals can connect all stargates here on the planet and off Earth, as I have mentioned before. Here on planet, we have arcs under the Giza Plateau, under the Sphinx. In Egypt, we have one in Antarctica, we have one in Ukraine, we have one in Mexico, we have one in Cuba, we have one in Brazil. My cat's name is Pantera, the wildest panther here on this apartment. Then these stargates can connect you to different stargates here on Earth, in Antarctica as well, if I didn't mention it, and to all arcs, to other arcs, and to other arcs that are off planet, and to other places. So there are portals and they are stargates at the same time. I've mentioned the difference before in my previous video. Just to make a parenthesis, in a portal you go from one place to another like zips instantly, and through a stargate, like one of these that is there under the spaceship, under the Bermuda Triangle, is a stargate. So that one has the capacity to take you to hyperspace and pretty much, oh no, yes, exactly, pretty much like to way far away into other different galaxies and other universes. This is fascinating. So in this space arc, there are giants in stasis. Their bodies are alive because they are in special technology in stasis, but their consciousness is not there. Their consciousness has decided to incarnate in a human body at this particular time. I know this sounds very crazy for you guys, but hey, it is what it is. There are many others that are listening to me, and I know. So for those, and for those who think I'm cuckoo, the seed is planted. Over there in these space arcs, there are giants in these stasis that at some point, meaning now, pretty soon, their consciousness, their soul is gonna come back into the avatar and activate a certain consciousness on Earth. I believe that's when we are going to hit critical mass with that consciousness of Source and the Divine and unity. So these giants that are there, when the Aztecs were able to read the hieroglyphs on the walls, they actually got very emotioned. They got very moved, and they cry in happiness and celebration because they understood that it was the activation and the return of Quetzalcoatl. Now, in other cultures, he's known as Thoth. Thoth. Now, by the way, to make this parenthesis, the Aztecs were able to enter this energy field into this arc by chanting Akuria Mate, which means a connection to the divine and pretty much open portal. So Akuria Mate, guys. In this space arc, there's also a hall of records, as I mentioned, of the story of mankind. And I wouldn't be surprised if this hall of records is in holographic technology that could be found there and in the arc in holographic technology. It's going to be fascinating when all the hall of records under the Bermuda Triangle, under the Giza Plateau, and under Antarctica and all over the place are going to activate at the same time with holographic images telling us about our real history of who we really are. Fuck. Sorry guys. You see, I got so excited that was a celebration. That was a spirit telling me, yes, you're on the right track. Meaning divine and our real source, and that we don't need any religions to communicate with this and with our brothers and sisters of the infinite source of this beautiful universe and beyond. This is going to be so fascinating. And then all the arcs, all the hall of records are going to show exactly the same information. Imagine that. And then it's going to, when everything is going to be proven to be true. What a beautiful time is coming to humanity in these days. Soon. So obviously this technology was left behind here by ancient civilizations way beyond Christ, and the Sumerians and blah blah blah. The Atlanteans, the Sumerians, blah blah blah. All you have to do is do your research. And so these arcs are deploying vessels, let's say like drones, but they are not drones. They are like, as we call it, UFOs. That are going all around the world right now with many purposes, but two of their main purposes. One of them is to scan for the state of human consciousness, to scan, to see how we're doing, guys. Are we gonna pass the test or are we not gonna pass the test? Pretty much that's what they're saying. It's like when I was in high school or university. Are we gonna get the 3? As we used to say in my university, 3 is grade. The rest is just something that just comes as a blessing on top of it. But in reality, how about if us as human beings, we hit for the 3 to pass? We are doing it, and that's why I'm sharing this video. So these vessels that are being deployed all over the world are scanning our vibratory energy field, meaning our loving consciousness. So all of you guys that are watching this video or that are gonna watch this video, all of you that care for your children, for your family, that are good human beings, that share your love and your life, that help the elder, that help the person on the street, that collaborate with your neighbors, that are growing your own food, blah blah blah, that are working on yourself, that meditate, that go hiking, that elevate your consciousness by singing, practicing a sport, playing music. So to all of you, to all of you, this is an invitation to just gather together, because these are the times. So to all of you, the loving people, this is what's gonna happen. These arcs are gonna read your beautiful energy, all our beautiful energy, and they are gonna say, oh yes, they passed the test. And then they are all the main vessels are going to be activated, and there is going to be a choice. Well, obviously, Earth goes through cycles that are natural. Earth and the galaxies and everything goes through cycles. I'm talking about cataclysms or polar shifts or things like that. This is not doomsday whatsoever. This is a shift of consciousness. But once you realize the truth of everything here on Earth, you can choose to stay here, enjoying the beautiful technology that is going to be displayed. Or you're going to choose to go back home, as some of us feel that we are, from probably different star systems or planets, as our mission has been accomplished over here. Or who knows, maybe staying here on Earth could be under the right circumstances. Could be an opportunity to keep growing, but hey, each one to its own. But these arcs are going to give us the opportunity to choose. Yes, I'm going and explore all solar systems and all other civilizations, or I'm going to stay over here enjoying, or both. Stay over here and at the same time travel of Earth, because it's going to be possible. Humanity is ready. So I am very, very, very happy that you listen to this story. I was going to share something else, but I don't believe it's the proper energy to bring to this. It's a beautiful energy. Maybe I should say it. Yes, I'm going to include it because I actually wrote it down here on my speech. So to close it. Okay, so regarding the Bermuda Triangle and the remote viewing team that corroborated all the information that many sources are bringing about what is happening down there in the Bermuda Triangle. Also, something that I learned yesterday, super beautiful, from another beautiful spiritual being, whose name is Chris O'Connor, who was interviewed, not really interviewed, but who did yesterday a show at Danny Henderson's channel. And something super beautiful that I learned from him is how to protect yourself from negative energy. In case you feel down or low or depressed or off, or thinking that your thoughts are not being quite right there in a positive way, or that you are actually literally being attacked by whatever. So to clear it up, long story short, and it's so beautiful, is 3 layers of protection. And this is like a 4th NCTD course, as he says it. So I'm going to paraphrase that, but in my own words, for what it means to me and how I have been practicing since yesterday. So you feel the energy is off, or you want to bless yourself, or bless your kids, or bless your home, or bless your work, or whatever. Or the bus, or the airplane, or whatever, whatever it is. So then you go, it's always in first, in, and then from inside your heart, that golden light of love comes out and creates a beautiful bubble that you can imagine that it could be golden, or it could be purple or blue or crystalline, and it moves with energy. So imagine that. I imagine it gold, and it moves. So it's alive and has consciousness, and it's like around here. That distance, I don't know, you can see that distance, whatever that distance means to you. 30 centimeters, I would say in Spanish. I read in meters, so that one I would say 30, like this, like a beautiful golden bubble, because whatever you imagine is real. This is quantum physics, this is reality, everything is about intention. So from your heart, a bubble of golden protection, a bubble of gold, or however you want to see it. That's the first layer of protection. The second one is coming from your pineal gland, that is an intersection from here and your temporal. So it's the third eye, inside the pineal gland. From there, and your consciousness, you bring that beautiful golden light. So it's kind of like your soul, it's like your heart and your soul connected. And from just here, you expand around your head. You know, like Jeshua's halo. Jeshua and Joseph. Thank you, Christ consciousness, for coming into this earth. And when you see the paintings with these halos of the saints, and here is actually a protection of their connection to source, themselves as source, the eighth chakra, the connection to source. So, and then you, it's like a bubble. So imagine yourself like an astronaut. So I imagine myself in a golden globe, and then I imagine myself like an astronaut here with a golden globe around my head. And the third one, which is the one that totally blew my mind, about that Chris O'Connor shared, and that what totally blew my mind. Because in the past, if I felt like a negative spirit or whatever, I was like, fuck off! Get the fuck out of here. You know, like, what the fuck are you doing? You like, just shh, shh. Or as I would say with my best friend from Colombia, custo, custo. Kind of like, Well, what I learned from Chris O'Connor is that you can actually treat all entities, good and bad and neutral and whatever, with love. So the third field is unconditional love. And he says his own words, but in my own words, of translation of his own words, would be something like, and like I go, I am protected, come from my heart, I have this energy protection field, and whatever entities come close to me, I send you love. And that is the third shield of protection. Isn't that beautiful? I never thought about treating certain entities with love, because but wow, this one really blew my mind. And guess what, I've been practicing it, and it feels easier and easier. And what Chris says is that those negative entities, if we want to call them like that, when they feel this love, there's two options. They either retrieve or they either heal eventually and come back to the light, and maybe come and support you to help other negative entities that are being lost. Imagine that. What a beautiful information I have gathered yesterday and today just by watching beautiful uplifting information. So thank you guys for listening and tuning in over here today. With all my love, may you discover who you are, your infinite